Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to do the tournament recap on the Ohio River BFL at Rocky Point. So leading into the tournament, the few weeks before then, they were really catching some really good weights for the river. It was taking 12, 13 pounds to win a lot of these tournaments. And what happened was we ended up getting a lot of rain the Tuesday and Wednesday, basically the whole week leading up to our tournament. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think it rained a total of maybe 3 inches, anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 inches leading up to that tournament. And it really muddied up the water. And there was a lot of water moving through the system. There was a lot of current in areas. It was pretty much chocolate milk everywhere. So it really wasn't ideal. I got down there Thursday for practice and it looked really bad. But I knew that every day it was going to clear up a little bit more. And so I was kind of optimistic that it was going to get better every day. So I kind of went into the mindset that I might not catch much Thursday, might not catch much Friday, but hopefully by Saturday things kind of settle down a little bit and they'll bite a little bit. But basically just trying to keep a positive attitude so I could stay focused while I was fishing in the tournament. But like I said, we got 2.5 to 3.5 inches of rain depending on which section of the river you were on. And that caused the river to come up 13 feet, get really muddy, and it really messed the fishing up for that week. So in practice, I ran around to a bunch of different creeks and checked water clarity and tried to find the clearest water that I could find. And I like to narrow it down to like 1 or 2 creeks. I don't like to run around to like 5 or 6 different creeks throughout the tournament day. Really, I like to just get into an area and just put my head down and go fishing on the Ohio River. So that's kind of what my game plan. I was looking for the clearest water I could find, and I was just gonna basically sit in that area and go fishing the rest of the day. So like I said, Thursday was really nasty. A lot of the creeks that are normally clear had just water rushing through them, and chocolate milk too. So it was bad. Friday, you could tell that things were starting to clear up a little bit. There wasn't nearly as much current. The river actually had started to drop a little bit, so it was kind of pulling some of that muddy water out to the main river. And so that helped clear up some of the creeks a little bit, which is where I was focusing because it was the springtime. I don't necessarily fish the main river as much in the springtime because I think a majority of the fish will be up in those creeks spawning and doing their thing, doing everything they need to do in the spring, and then they'll work their way out to the main river. So I was concentrating on creeks, and like I said, every day that water was getting pulled out to the main river, and it was really clearing up a little bit. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. I know in practice, I got a few bites. What few bites that I did get in practice were on black and blue, just flipping black and blue. And then in the tournament, I ended up switching to a green pumpkin. So we'll get into the baits and stuff that I fished. Basically, I was just targeting that clearer water that I could find. And when I say clearer water, it might have been like 4 inches of visibility rather than 1.5 inches to 2 inches. So it really wasn't clear water, but it was clearer than some of the areas. So I was targeting that. I was basically just going down the bank and fishing any cover or anything that looked good. So any like treetops or laydowns or stumps or anything that I could see, docks, anything that I could, anything I could flip to, throw a spinnerbait to, things like that. But in the tournament, I ended up catching all of my fish flipping. And I started out, like I said, in practice, I was catching them on black and blue. And the tournament, I started out throwing black and blue and then ended up switching pretty quickly to a green pumpkin magic speed crawl. And I was throwing that on a 1/4 ounce tungsten weight, and I had it pegged with a 3/0 finesse heavy cover Gamakatsu hook. And what I was doing with that is, like I said, I was just going down the bank, flipping any cover, any wood that I could find that those fish would possibly be spawning next to, or just setting up, getting ready to spawn or post-spawn. Basically, those fish were, in my opinion, probably in all 3 phases of the spawn. I think that high water might have delayed some of them from spawning, but I was just covering water and fishing down the bank and fishing anything that I came up to with this speed crawl, and I just flip in there and it was kind of hard to feel some of the bites. Some of them would just kind of peck at it real gently, and then they'd swim off. But I was able to catch 6 keepers doing that, and they weren't very big, but they weighed 6 pounds 10 ounces, and ended up getting me a 7th place finish. So ended up moving up to 8th place in the points in the BFL division. So I'm pretty excited about that. After my less than stellar performance at Patoka, I was definitely excited to be back in the top 10, and hopefully we can keep the year rolling and maybe move up even more in the standings. But as far as the tackle that I used, like I said, I used a Zoom Speed Crawl in the Green Pumpkin Magic color. It's basically just green pumpkin with some gold flake in it. I had a Gamakatsu Finesse heavy cover hook, and it's basically the same hook that I flip most of my stuff, except that the Finesse version's a little thinner, and I feel like those smaller fish, since we're catching little tiny 12-inchers, can get that hook in their mouth a little bit better, and they don't spit it out. So I throw that hook, and then 1/4 ounce tungsten, and I pegged it as well. So I was just throwing that around on a 7-foot medium heavy lose rod, and I had a 7:5-to-1 gear ratio team lose rod with, or team lose reel with 15-pound Berkeley fluorocarbon. And I didn't really need to step it up to 20 or whatever. I probably could have with some of the thick stuff that I was fishing, but the size of the fish, I never really had to worry about that. I actually, at one point, caught a keeper and reeled in part of the bush at the same time. So that 15-pound test does good enough for me. It's easier to cast than like the thicker 20. So that's basically what I did. Like I said, I just went down the bank flipping and ended up catching 6 keepers for 6 pounds 10 ounces. Pretty small, but for the river, I'll take it. After practice, I was just happy to catch a keeper. So after I caught that keeper, I just went to work and fished as much as I could and just put my head down and ended up with 5 and had a limit for the day, and pretty happy with my finish. So next tournament is at Tanner's Creek, and then after that we go to Lake Monroe, and then back to Tanner's for the super tournament. So being an 8th in the points and 2 river tournaments left, I'm not too excited about that, but it is what it is. It's the schedule. So we're just going to go fishing, and hopefully like I said, hopefully we can move up in the points and just see where we end up. Thanks everybody for watching. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.